Hey, what's up? It is Adam Smith, and it is Proxy Time Live. Continuing, this is part 2 of working on the Stranger Things stuff. So today I'm only going to do 2 different ones, but I have an interesting angle I think I'm going to do with the Mike one. We'll see if this works out. So I'm going to be working on Mike and Will. So Mike the Dungeon Master and Will the Wise. I think these two go really well hand in hand for partner commanders. Because this one is choose target creature in the graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn, return to the battlefield tapped. So Will the Wise, when he enters or leaves the battlefield, each opponent may investigate. If they don't investigate, they lose a life. You get a clue token for 1+ how many people investigated. So if you have some sort of sack outlet to get Will to go out, so 1, you'll get it when he comes into play. And then when he's leaving, if you're able to sack him, and then you use Mike's ability to bring him back. So now you're getting 2 triggers of him leaving and coming back again, not to mention the original time you cast him. So this could be interesting way of taxing or draining people out, and also at the same time getting some clue tokens that'll help with draw as well. So I think this is a good combination of 2. The last week I was talking about Lucas and Max working together. This one I think is perfect. These 2 working together. And the next week we'll finish up with the last 3. This one will take me a little longer because what I want to do with Mike, and we'll get to that when we get there, and hopefully this works out. But see how he has it's on the table of where they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. I kind of want the text box here to go with the table up to where he is, and then have the creature type, everything up here, so going straight up and down, but almost have that text box go at an angle. We'll see if that works, because I do want you to be able to see what the card does, and if I angle it too much, you might not be able to see that, but we'll see. We'll get to that once we get there. What I'm going to do first is actually work with Will, because this one's just straightforward. I mean, there's nothing much going on with this picture. We're probably just have Will's head come over into the foreground. I don't think I can do anything with the banners much, but we'll see when we get there. Get Will done, and then we'll move on to Mike and probably spend a lot of time working on the Mike one, and that one will just be, it'll be an interesting one. I'm hoping that it works out. I'm gonna move my computer a little closer here and scoot myself over a little bit. I'm hoping that the plan of that works out, but we'll see, I guess, because it's it's a good idea. Is just, can I execute the idea in the time that I am trying to do this in? I don't want these to be like 3-hour-long videos, and this could be something that would take me a lot longer for editing purposes. I do want this part on there. So we're going to get the text box down there. Grab onto the side here. Yeah, so I'm, as I said last week, I'm super excited to build these. These are just, they're different, I mean, they're partner commanders, but they seem a lot of fun. I just played some in real life Magic last night, so that's good for you. Good for you yesterday, playing at buddy number 2's house. And one of my favorite decks is Daryl. Like, that's the one I like to go to, because it's kind of a cool. Oh, what are you doing here? Let's not grab all that. I think because it's really black up there. We'll get this and we'll delete that up there just to get rid of that. Okay. Make sure our wording there. So I played it. One of my first decks of the night. I think it was my first deck of the night. I try not to repeat decks, but man, I almost went right back to it like later in the night, because I just really like that deck. And I don't know if it's because it's just a different mechanic than what you see with Magic, and that might be what it is. All right, there, we evened that out. So I don't know what it is, and I kind of have the same feeling with the Stranger Things stuff. It just seems different, and it's goading, so that's what I'm really excited for. Not this, the one from last week. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can check out the video from last week where I worked on Max and Lucas. Also, I worked on 11. 11's a little different. That's a 3-color commander. So that pretty much makes it so you can have a 5-color if you play with some of these. So any of these you partner with. All right. I actually don't know if it's any of them. I didn't check that. If you played with any one of these, would it do that? It might. Let's get this even all the way across. Let's go to about there. Okay. And I want this side to be a little bit more. Oh, that's too high there. Just that. Oops, too much. Just this part. There we go. And over here. So I'm pressing Alt for this just in case you're wondering. I remembered this time which one it was to press beforehand. So I think everything else looks good there. Wording. Bring it on over. All right. So we got Will Art. Let's bring him over there. All right. I didn't get to do this ahead of time, so I didn't know how this would fit in the frame. And I think, yeah, so Will's head's going to take over most of that. We'll probably have him more off to the side here. I think that's where I want him to be. Because really all this is going to do is just have this. Maybe I'll have him a little bit more center there. Right there. Okay. This might be one of the most straightforward proxies I've done. Some of these, well, especially when you're not using like an alt art where it's just you're grabbing the actual art. And if there's not much going on in the picture, there's not much more you can do with it. So we'll bring this down a little, bring this up. And I think that'll do it right there. Okay, now let's get Will going. I got to stamp him. And let's come over here. I can bring that down even more so I can see a little bit better. There we go. I'll keep this one as a crisp line because it is pretty. You need to have a pretty straight line here. You don't want it being fuzzy or anything like that. Even though we're dealing with hair, but it's pretty perfect hair there. So you know where the contrast between his hair and the background is pretty easy to see there. Oops. Then you go and do that. It's easy to see, but at the same point, I couldn't do that shortcut. Trying to get that curve. There. Let's see if that works. Okay. Will is there. He is good. Is that all I'm doing with this one? Because really, you don't want to cut out much more there. I had thought maybe bringing some of the tree branches, but I really don't think there's much more I want to do with the Will one. It's really basic, bland, blah. But that's what you get with what you're dealing with the picture. There's not much more you can mess with that. I don't even know how I'm going to do the card logo or the CommanderSmith logo in this. This is going to be an interesting placement of everything here. Let's see here in a sec. I don't. Oh, that went a little further than I like. I think right about. I just want that flat top. See, it's a little flat there. I also don't want to grab that white. Let's see how it comes across when I bring it over. Okay, it's fine. All right, so I have no flipping idea where I want to put this. I could put it in the flag behind him. Maybe that's what I do. Just kind of that O would be nice. Oh man, this is a little off center of what I normally would like. It's actually going to end up being like almost perfect when I turn this into a proxy here. Because I normally cut it to about right here. This is what I shape it down to. So this side will come in a little bit more. And I could do that right now before I... Well, let's shrink it down. Let's get them over on the O. O. And let me image crop a little bit different. I wonder if it's going to bring me back my layers. No. So we're going to still grab our same thing here. We're just going to trim it just a little bit on this side. So now we're a little bit more matched on each side. This is pretty close to what it's going to look like once the proxy's actually out. So normally when I do this, I make it a little bit wider. And then in post-production, so we're going to elongate this. I'll shrink it up to the right dimensions. Come on. I want to grab, there we go. Okay, so we want to skew it. So we're going to skew this. So we're trying to pull this up. Why are you not letting me skew that way? I want that O. Okay, so maybe it's, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna get these, trying to match what that O is doing there. A little bit more elongated. We want it to be even on both sides. So we have a nice, then we'll take the skew off. Back to scale. We're going to bring it down so it could fit right in there. We're going to have to shift a little bit. Let's, okay, there's our O top. We're going to just turn a tad, a little bit bigger. Okay, I think that's fine there. Yes. Yes. Okay, and then we want the levels down. That actually might be good, but it might be just a little too bright for what's going on in the picture. Let's bring it down to that. That works. Pretty simple. This is probably one of the simplest, 11-minute proxy. It could have been a 3-minute proxy. That's how easy that one is. Now we move to the more difficult ones. So there's a couple ideas because I want everything to kind of stay consistent of my levels. So I think what I'm going to do is how I normally start, highlighting everything. And I'll get this, but I'm going to do it twice in a way. I'll show you what I mean here in a sec. So I'm going to get it so it's consistent, because when I first was doing these proxies years ago, I sometimes what I would have done actually was do the bottom box and then come in and put the top box on there. And for my early proxies, some of the ones that I even have on Proxy of the Week, like I think Sensei's top might be this way, and Soul Ring, if you check that out on Twitter, they're not proportionate of where they should be, like where the text box and where the title of the card are, because I did them separately. And so since then, I've changed that around where I keep these together so they're consistent of the spacing. And so that what I'm going to do is put this over there, and then there's a lot of letters in this there. And then after I'm done with the spacing, then I'm going to come back and just get the bottom text box and match it to what I have on there. And then I can figure out exactly how to lay this out. It sounds really confusing now that I'm just talking about it. So just stay with me here, because I think this could turn out pretty nice. I'm hoping it turns out nice. In my head, this sounds like a very cool and unique. Like one of my favorite ones that I've done so far of the Proxy Time stuff is the Teferi, the one. Which one was that from? I feel like it was from the core set. I think it was the core set one, but it has that time manipulation thing where it has like a wave, and I added that wave into the text box, and that was one of my favorite things that I've done. And you could still read the text, but you had that wave feel to all the lettering and stuff. I did copy that, but I actually wanted to fix this bulge and that bulge. Get rid of the bulges. Make this as easy as possible on my cutting and pasting. Copying and pasting, I guess. Ah, what you doing? Just that little top. Okay, I think that worked. We got everything there. Okay, so now let's bring it over. So, Mike. So we organize it. We set it up of how we want it to be. Ooh. Okay, so see what I have to do here is, but I want Mike in there. This is the part that I'm talking about, because we want this to be at the edge of that table. But we also don't want to lose Mike in this whole thing. Okay, I got it. This is going to work. So we're going to do, check this. All right, you see the base of the text box. We're going to keep the legendary creature human right at the like above the table line. From the table line on, I'm going to try to stretch it. So I'm going to try to angle it from there. So we'll have all this, Mike all in there. I want his hands, both hands in there. So we might move this over just a tad. Because we will pick up most of his hand there. And actually, one of my thoughts was holding the CommanderSmith logo thing right there. So I think this is how I want this. Just want to make sure I got the edge of the table there. All right, so edge is right about there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to crop it just so we know where our image is going and everything like that. So bring in there. We're going all the way down over to here. Okay, so that's what we're having there. Now what I want to try to do, let's see if this will work. Is that how I want to do it? Now I'm looking at him like this actually is pretty sweet to have it. Him come to the front. Let's go to there. Let me see what I want to do here. I need this. Okay. So the thought is we're going to get rid of, we got to get back to this. So we're alt taking these away. And we're coming across here like that. You know what might be easier is doing this at this point. A straight line across. Oh, I moved in a little bit further than I'd like. Right about there. Okay. So you got our straight lines. Now this is where it should be kind of interesting how we're going to do this. Not Will. We want Mike. All right. So we bring it over. This is why I wanted that bottom part to be a part of this so I can match it up exactly where it's supposed to be. Okay. That looks pretty solid there. Right? Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do really quick is we are going to eliminate this. So I want that. I want the stamp tool. And we're going to jump back to our original. We're just going to eliminate that altogether. Okay. Deselect. Now what I want to do is move this into place. I don't know if this is going to work. We'll see. Because we're going to skew it. So like I was doing before, so we're going to touch the side there. We want to skew. I don't know how this is going to go, but we'll see. So I kind of need this part to go. Ugh. I might be making this more difficult than I. This might be too tough for me to just mess around with at this point. Let's see here. All right. So how would I skew this to make? So I need this part to like come up to here, right? Oh, there. So now we're getting that feel of it's on a table. But here's the problem. We got to shrink it. So I just want to get that. The table feels like it goes the other way. So we're going to shift the other way. Okay. Same with that. Like that. Right? Possibly like that. Got to be consistent with it. A lot of messing around with this right here. So this is why all right, see, that's not there. That'll match up. So I'm going to shrink it. That's the other part of this. I got to get this. You got to see what he actually does. No, don't yell at me. Okay. So now we need to go back to scale. That's going to be the hard part. I got to get that to match with that. Okay, there we go there. We're good on the... Okay, we're just losing part of the side there. That's fine. That's totally fine because this is what I wanted. I wanted this feel of him. The other part of it is it's going to be faded out quite a bit. How does that look? Now, I'm not sure if I've wanted it going that way or the other way. Move over. Friends Forever, we see you can have 2 commanders, so it's fine that it's going off of there. So what I want that feel is that he's actually on the side of. I also want to shrink this up maybe and bring this up a little higher. Oh yeah, I stamped it. It'll still be fine. I just have to get that level right and then redo what I just did. I'm just going to keep that there. I'm doing a lot of messing around here, just wanting to try to get all this in. So I think it doesn't look as consistent as I want. Oh, trying something new can be difficult. Part of me feels like this is too angled. So I kind of want to jump back to that skewing and skew it just back a little bit more. So I just want that table feel. Oh, grab there. Trying to move that. And then we're getting the whole thing in there. Oh, this might match up pretty well. I'm going to grab a little bit more. That actually might work out better. Making it a little bit wider. Actually, that's probably how I want to do it. Yeah, I was trying to keep them symmetrical when in actuality I need to make it seem like more of a table. Okay, so this is how I need to do this. We don't want to lose what he does, so I'm getting a little too far. Don't push it too much more. So we want to see that he's a 2-2. You don't want to lose that for sure. And then we'll probably widen the top out just a tad there. Okay. I think I like how this is turning out that way. So we're making it feel like a tabletop. We're going to use the arrow to place this a little better. It's a 2-2, and I'm just trying to think of when I frame this out and make the actual proxy, how this is going to look. Okay, so we're down to 57. Remember what I was talking about last week is the problem. So this is what I wanted to do. This is the whole idea. So you see how you have the Demogorgon stuff sitting there like that? I want this to seem like it's sitting on top of here. So I'm going to bring this to the foreground, bring the wizard to the foreground. Yes, it's taking up part of what this text box does, but I think this is going to look really sweet to have that. Oops. I see that it's a 2-2. So let's jump back here. Let's make sure our stamping is all right. I think it is. And we're going to continue working with this part of everything. We've already gotten rid of the lower text box. So we need to work on layer number 2. We could combine the layers now, actually. Let's do that. Where's my link layers? Merge layers. Okay, so now we have 2 layers the same. So I can just work on the Demogorgon coming through here. Like that. Oh, this is going to look sweet. I'm kind of excited how this is going to turn out. Okay. The one problem with doing the linked layers. Oh, we brought it down already. So I think we won't fade it much from it. This will be as bright as we'll have it the whole time. I think that's perfect, actually. We got that accidental right settings for all that. So I think that's good. So I want to bring it down just so I can see this a little bit more in detail. We'll bring it all the way up to 100% at the end. All right, so we get this. Tentacles come in there. Leg. Oh, that was a little more of. So we want this here. And then there's the bottom piece of it. So it is losing a bit of the what the card does, but the idea of this one, it had to do it that way because this is what I thought this was gonna be kind of cool. Make the text box feel like it's part of the Dungeons and Dragons play field or whatever. So I think this will work out. I don't know what they call it. Is a battlefield like we do in Magic? You Dungeons and Dragon players are going to be pissed at me how I don't know my stuff, but I think, yeah, battlefield. We'll call it that. So I want it to feel like it's part of the whole thing. So let's see how this. I don't know if I want to add shadow to it because we want it to stay. You want to be able to see the rest of it. So that looks so cool. It just looks like it's part of it. Like that's freaking awesome. I really this. What is it? The whole thing? Yeah, that's gonna be dope. Oh man, this is cool. I'm excited that this worked out because I was a little nervous that it wasn't gonna work out. I'm kind of glad that Will was so easy, so I had time to actually mess around with this a bit. All right, so we got our wizard coming through, so he's a part of it. Okay, the nice thing is you aren't losing. It's not taking away a ton. Granted, it is a new cards and all that stuff, but the wizard isn't taking up much, and the Demogorgon is not taking up a crap ton. I'll have to look at it again. So I'm outlining here. Get the wizard in the middle. This is you're really just losing on what the info of the card does, so that's not too bad there. Hey, wizard's all colored in except for the lower stuff. There we go. Be really sweet if I could add the shadows in, but I think that just takes away too much of what's going on here. And you can you'd see through it anyway, so that's fine to have it the way we're doing it. All right, bring our layers already, our levels already up to 100. So the wizard doesn't stand out as much. I mean, it is because you're covering all the words that are going on, but he doesn't stand out as much as the Demogorgon does. I wonder. Hang on a second. Let's use this. We are going to mess with this a little bit. Okay, so choose target creature card in your graveyard that is put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to the battlefield tab. Okay, so you can pretty much see what that is. What I want to do here is add a little bit of like that. So then the wizard really feels like he's part of this. He's adding a shadow to that. Is that what I want to do? Yeah, I think that works out pretty good. I don't want to do it here because you could still read what it's saying. Choose target there. But we will jump on up here. We'll keep this because it is kind of not a crisp line there. So we'll have his hair. You can kind of still see through the back there. We'll do the same on this side. Wait, did I lose? Don't want to lose the casting cost. So you could have positioned that a little bit different so we didn't lose so much. So what I want to do is bring this down to about there. And get the top a little more faded. Fade in a little bit there. Okay, so we can see it's kind of coming out of his head, but at least you can see the casting cost. I do want that in there. We'll have his hand as well coming through because I do want the logo to go there. Oh, so I need to bring this back up to 100. It's down there a bit. That. The logo is going to be sitting there, so let's get that. I'm going to make it fit. I don't want it too huge, but we're going to have it about there. Is that where I want it? Let me back it up. For sure want this way down. But I want this to take over what's going on in the background there. So what I will do, we want to jump onto which layer here? We want this layer to be taken away. And I kind of want to switch out and be more on that. So I want it to be see-through, but not completely. I want it to be covering the text box. Then that gives that feel there of, and I almost, we're going to copy this and we're going to go to his hand. And so we're going to, did that work? No, of course it didn't work. Okay, how would I get that to take over? I was doing the opacity, so it's taking, that's why you can see through it. I just wanted this faded a little bit more. And what I also don't like, this might mess it up a little bit. I want his finger to be almost like holding it. So we want to kind of come over the top a little bit. You want it to look like he's actually holding it. Yeah, I don't want it over there. Sorry, I was just looking to see if those fingers, we're having them hold it over there. So what we have is the background. We're going to restamp this. And then we'll go back up to here and do that. So it's more of like he's holding it. What I did mess up down here is I have all that. So hang on a second. Backing it up. We'll get back to our movement. What we'll do just to solve the problem is just make it that much bigger. And then we can just touch just a little bit right there. You can see that he's holding it there. Then what we also need to do, okay, text box. We were getting rid of, jump on there. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. That turned out pretty sweet. I mean, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted this all to come through, make this seem like it's a part of the board. I could do this too, but then I might do two things here. I'll probably save this, and then we'll just look at what it'll look like if I do this. So if we go down here, grab this as well. And then you really make this look like it's part of the... Oh, yeah. Yeah, it totally looks like it's part of the whole thing. We even would grab this and this. And now it's like, besides the book, that's the only thing, but that would cover up our 2-2, like that stuff. But this would really make it feel like it's part of it. So I'll actually probably put both of these together as a double proxy that people could actually pick out if they wanted. Don't care about covering everything. I'll have both versions of this. So, all right. Well, that was actually a quick one today. I thought this part would take longer. It ended up working out a lot better than I was thinking it was going to. And I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with how well this worked out. So, okay. So got to do the drawing for podcast tomorrow. Doing that now. So that's for Stump the Smith Savant. You guys can turn it on. Even people that have done their stumps in one or not even one and whatever, you guys can turn in more of them to me. We still have quite a bit of them here, but yeah. So right now, this is the prize. I think we have 2 more weeks, and then we will be adding on to that. Actually, what I am going to be doing right now, I'm going to draw 2 names because we are double casting this week, and I think next week, because it's Halloween on Sunday, I will be missing Proxy Time Live. So if I don't get to it next week, I might try to fit one in somewhere, but if I don't, we have a lot of Halloween stuff going on. I'll be on the following week. So, all right. So first name for this week, the current episode that will be coming is going to be Mark Thompson. Boom. That is going to be our first Stump the Smith for Lowry. And then the second week, like I said, we're double casting, so we're doing them both tomorrow, will be, let's see, Jacuzzi Jake. You are the second in line to try to stump the Smith. So, all right, guys, that should do it for this week. The next time I do it, I'll try to get it next weekend. If I can't, but the next one will be the final installment of the Stranger Things Secret Lair. Again, we've talked about this last week, Stranger Things, about the Secret Lair stuff. So check out that episode about how this is, if this is good enough to buy. It's still available for the next couple weeks. So I'm Adam Smith from the CommanderSmiths. I didn't even know how to sign off there. I'm Adam Smith from the CommanderSmiths. We'll see you next week or the following week. We'll see you. Bye. Sega.